What?
Was it the 20th we met with Rachel, or the 13th?
I don't know.
20.
Calendar, perhaps.
We've got a work session on the 18th. 18th. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everybody to the September regular board meeting. I don't have any yellow cards, so I would assume I'm going to hear from everybody that's in the audience, so we will move on to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Roger,
Second.
second by Nikki. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed, motion carries. Approve the minutes for the August 4th regular board meeting.
I'll second.
Motion by Ryan, second by Leslie. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, those opposed, motion carries. Chris, you get to go first, cause I bet the other half isn't here.
And, well, just first to the school board, I apologize that our Chromebooks were not ready for your meeting tonight. So we have the reports in front of you, and most of the items are on the consent calendar. If there's anything within those district policies that you do like to review, if you have a question on, please let me know, and I'll project it up on the screen here for any discussion that we may need to have.
Good evening.
Good evening, I love the colors.
Yeah, no, I'm fired up for tonight, but, I think most of the stuff I wanted to share is in my report there, but I wanted to just highlight a couple of things as far as our safe environment, consistent discipline. Mr. Jacobson and I, welcome the students back. We started with positive celebrations that have been happening in the school from last year, and then we talked about just some updates of what's, to come. So we did talk about student parking. I think that's been going well. We've been getting out our symbols for our cars, our tags, whatever you wanna call them. So by the end of this week, I think we should have them all out there, but there's a permission form that goes with that. Students have been doing a very nice job of that though. And then we have our open campus. I just sent out a reminder to parents and guardians, for them to be able to opt out if they want to out of that option. Otherwise, the permission slips have been coming in fast and furious. And I would say we might be up 10, 15 kids from last year, you know, compared to going out, but when you add a whole other class into that, that seems pretty normal. Right now, they've been coming back on time. We probably average about 40 kids leaving the building a day, from what I see from numbers right now. It's been positive right now. Kids were very thankful for the opportunity. There's lots of clapping when I met with 11th and 12th graders, so you made them happy, so just so you know. They know it's a privilege, but, and then the safety and security as far as the building goes, we really did step it up as far as having doors propped open. I feel like we're going out door two, we're coming in door two, we're doing a lot of signing in and signing out, but the accountability and safety piece is up. So I feel pretty good about that. I am responsible for that, and I felt like I've been keeping a pretty good eye on that now. And I have a nice team developed for lunch that are very active. We're having 9th and 10th graders check in with attendance, so that kind of keeps them from trying to slip out the door maybe with 11th and 12th. Not that they would do that, but it just helps to have a little accountability. So that's piece I just wanted you to know about. It's going well right now. Phones, I think Mr. Jacobson talked about, maybe we had, I think 4 phones turned into the office last week. And that's not a real high number, but there wasn't any big problems with it. They turned them in willingly and put them in there, and then we kept them for the day. But that's all we've had so far. I did want to touch on our staff development, and maybe others will touch on it, but we had William Gruby come in and did a staff development on artificial intelligence, AI, and how to use it in the job. And in the 25 years that I've been doing this, being in education, I think that that's the most engaged I've seen a staff. You know, we always kind of go by the 80-20 rule, and I think we had about 95% staff that were just heavily engaged. There's a few of them that are a little leery still of what this looks like in education, but a lot of tools given out. It's one of the best ones I've been to in a long time, and so yeah, it was fun. It was engaging. And I think they got tools to take. There's still stuff to build on after you leave. So it's kind of hard to find something like that. A lot of times it's one and done, but I just want you to know your money was well spent with Mr. Groovy, in my opinion. That's about all I got, unless you have any questions for me right now. It's a good start. Feel good about it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Picasso from the elementary school. I'm just impressed, that's all I got. I know that's a lot of work that you put into that mural, but it's
Yeah,
impressive.
I would say 40 hours or so probably total with everybody. So
Nice.
if you haven't seen it, swing down and check it out.
Great.
Just wanted to go over a quick few things. I caught the tail end of Chris's stuff. I think he covered most of the PD side of things. I felt like the school year got off a pretty smooth start. Not a lot of issues, which I was happy to see, especially with me being new. There was no major behavior things the first week, so that was nice. The one thing I liked to see was that change in the morning routine drop off. Most of the parents have seemed to just kind of jump right in and follow it, so not a lot of major issues there. There was a few parents that I've seen come in, but I did say if they were gonna come in for breakfast or something like that, to check into the office, or into the district office before they came in, and most parents I've seen have had a visitor's pass on, so that's good. So happy for that. This week we have our normal PBIS trainings with a couple of the staff going over some of the procedures with our hallways, bathrooms, locker area, playground, and then we also have bus safety that will happen primarily on Wednesday. One other big change that's happening is our fall assessments for FastBridge and iReady. Typically they do that the first 2 weeks of the school year right off the bat. We are pushing that back, so they'll start that next week, starting Monday, just to give them a couple weeks to kind of get into the routines of school and get back into the flow of things before we just throw assessments at them. So that will start next week, Monday, and run for a 2-week window to try to get all the kiddos in with that. Otherwise, with curriculum, our ELA, they've narrowed it down to 2 options, so they'll be working through that with Rachel over the rest of this school year. And then just a couple of things going on or coming up. I'll be over at Sourcewell this week for some continuous improvement work with Rachel. And then we got a field trip already coming up at the end of the week or the month with 5th grade. So, questions?
It'd be nice to you this week, no question.
Like I said, I feel like it was a very smooth start to the year with me being new and all the different changes that are happening. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have an agenda, or not, non-agenda? Okay. We'll pick you up at the end. Sue?
I apologize that I didn't get this out to you ahead of time, that I'm kind of a bit overwhelmed. Our current full-time enrollment is 42 students. You'll notice I penned that in, it's changed since I typed it. That's usually where we're at, mid-year, later in the year. I just wanted to give you an update on some of the historical. Last year, you know how our money is generated by what our students produce in work. Total unit output for students last year was 45,965. That will be adjusted because some kids capped out. Jolene has not had a chance to do that, but we also get some compensatory dollars. And if you look, despite having less peapot, I put some of the historical changes on here. The things we've done, we're getting things done, we're getting things from kids. Right now, we've got 42 full-time students, 19 part-time. I've been saying for several days that we're full, and I've managed to keep a waiting list for the full-time, but some of the part-time keep coming in and a couple of the full-time, because we continue to have, every time I think I have heard the at-risk story to its greatest extent, we continue to have kids come in, haven't been in school, in a regular school since second grade, senior, has 2.5 credits towards graduation, coming in from an abuse situation, young lady living in a car that doesn't, she's not been in school since second grade and has no credits, but she should be a 10th grader. Those kind of situations don't fit in the high school, and we need to continue picking them up. I'll just quickly let you know that I do have some concerns. We're loaded. I know I'm not meeting the teacher instructional time. The state rule does say that I can do groups of 2 or 3. I have groups of 2 and 3 everywhere I can for numerous of my teachers, and all of the time that I have Janice and Isaac. They are doubled up. It works okay if the kids are in the same spot, but we're already finding kids academically and instructionally are not quite at the same spot, so we're struggling some. We've also lost, in the past we had a drop-in time, so those older kids could only be in the building on Thursday afternoons. I had bang, 1:15, they could meet with teachers and they were out. I don't have time for that in the schedule, so now my past graduates, in order to get a diploma, are going to see Janice or Isaac. They will have to come Tuesdays after school. So that's going to impact my graduation rate, I do believe, on those past grads. On the schedule that I have that's heavy, except for work experience, I have not scheduled any other electives for full-time students. We lost the work site visit time that we had added, which I think was wonderful, because I don't have time in the schedule for it. And I've got a mixture of teachers doing science. Eventually, I think that's going to be a licensure and quality concern. And as I told you, I'm concerned about the numbers for this time of year. So I just kind of wanted to let you know. This has been, I know it's been a lot of years I've been here, but I have to say this is what it is. And I'll continue to try and make it work, but I do have concerns. Any questions? Yes, I'll leave for you to read and ask me later.
All right, thanks, Sue.
Yeah, we'll look this over.
Cindy, just your report here, we're good? Joel?
Good evening, everyone. Well, mine's gonna be almost the opposite of Sue's report. So, just came in from the community meal, out at the community garden here on our campus, and so it was way better attended than I ever thought. I would guess there were 100 people that probably either stopped in just to get their food, or, many kind of strolled through the garden, and there was a couple giveaways if they stayed, and so, I was very pleasantly surprised, so. I'm just gonna say Camille is she is on board and she is rolling, so that's fun to see. She's jumping right in. As you know, we have our school age care opening next week on the 15th, and so that's gonna be right here, right before we know it. So we've been busy hiring staff, and she's been busy organizing and getting things ready to go for that program. And so we're gonna do it, and we're gonna keep gaining kids along the way, and it's gonna be a very good thing.
Joel, do we cap out on that, or do we just hire more? I mean, is that the
Yeah,
plan?
well, you know, sometimes, so other districts, for example, they have like, you know, we're talking huge districts, but they'll have like 400 kids on a waiting list because they can't hire enough staff. Now, I mean, we'll have to see where we're at. I mean, we're not anywhere near being full right now. Like, we have enough staff to cover kids right now. And I think we'll still, you know, as things grow and change, I think there'll be staff that'll be interested in coming to work for us too. So I think my goal is that we don't have to have a waiting list, that we can just keep things rolling for the families who wanna be in it.
And we're tied to a quote, or a ratio,
Yeah, we
right?
have a
So-
ratio, so a 1 to 15 ratio, so we have to have, you know, for every 15 kids, we have to have staff. And sometimes you have to staff a little heavier than that, if, depending on the needs of the kids that are in the program, so.
And what, is it all school age? School age?
School age care,
No
yeah.
preschool, okay.
Yeah, no preschool, so kindergarten through 6th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll be the heaviest and probably like that first, second, third grade age.
Yep.
So, yeah,
How many do we have enrolled as of now?
there's 9 right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and Camille is working on, getting some flyers out to all the families. You know, a lot of the enrollments right now have been Facebook, word of mouth, those types of things, and so I think we'll see some increase as soon as these flyers hit homes.
Sure. Great.
So,
My concern is that at the 1 to 15, I mean, this could be a dam. I mean, we open this floodgate, and then how fast can we get the services to the kids? So that would be my only concern, is
Yeah.
how do we?
yeah, and you know, I mean, the truth is, Chris, I've never been involved with opening a site before like this, but, you know, I have a lot of connections and a lot of history with good running programs.
Okay.
And so I think we'll go with the flow, and we'll deal with it as it comes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not concerned, but
Space might be one of our bigger
that,
issues.
that's
Space.
true, that's true. So we'll have to, you know, play that by year 2 to see how it all happens.
Okay.
Yeah. Soccer numbers, so this is, again, you've heard me say this before, we have this brand new soccer program. We were approached by Heartland, which is up in Walker, to run a soccer program here, and so we decided to do a kind of a partnership between Pequot and Pine River. And so we have 68 kiddos as of this morning that are signed up to play soccer. So these are kids ages 3 to 10. So that's a lot of kids.
Great.
So, and we're relying on parent volunteers to help coach. We had Simon Whitehead come and do a coach's clinic last week. And I mean, he really makes it very easy for parents. He goes over the drills, he has them try the drills, he hands them, here's like your playbook. He hands it over to them, and so I think it'll be just a lot of fun. It's really just very basic beginning soccer, but as you can see, kids want something to do.
It's
So.
a great use of our soccer field that we have back there and getting
Yep.
that set up.
Yep, Jim's gonna paint some lines on it, and so it's gonna look and feel like soccer. So we got some new equipment, and so. So just some other things that we have going on this fall, just so you're aware, we have an RDT, that's Revolutionary Dance, that's our dance team. And so this is the youth portion of it, and so, again, that's a Pequot and Pine River Backus combination class, and so we have a handful of kids that are combined with Pequot kids in that. And then cheer is crazy. I think Camille was getting, you know, registrations and emails from parents left and right. We have 36 kiddos out for cheer.
Still coming in today.
Yeah, isn't it just crazy? I mean, they wanna cheer. So, so fun, really a lot of fun. Adult volleyball is up for enrolling, or soon will be, and so that'll be on the adult side of things, what we have going on. We're doing a redo of that wave cutting board class that we did, a while back. We just we didn't have quite enough people to run it, so this one is coming up in October, on October 20th. Nature Club, that's a partnership we do with Happy Dancing Turtle, that will be starting up in about a week, so it won't be too long, and then our newsletter will be going out the first week of October. So, here you go. Questions, anyone? Fun, good stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Joel.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Joel.
Rachel?
They're in there.
Yep.
Got it.
Yeah.
No, okay.
That, you don't want me to read all of it. You just don't. But after listening to both Mr. Lingseth and Mr. Halverson, some of the things we say in ours are the same. So clearly, some great stuff happening, and I'm not gonna repeat all of it. And I'm also not gonna read this whole thing. Number 2, add these updates. I said nothing new at this time. There is something new. Our fall orientation got scheduled for September 18th. So that's where they go over, hey, here's anything new that's come up. Here's all of the new forms and everything that you have to fill out for the year. Not much there, but that's coming up. Assessment updates. You guys have a link once you can get into your computers for our assessment data. That one is just gonna be spreadsheet form, where you can just take a peek at the numbers, look at comparisons from, I think, 2017 until this year. Mr. Clark and I talked about scheduling a work session where we can really dig into that a little bit more, so that it's not just a quick little passing thing. One addition to the assessment is we have been chosen again this year to do the NAEP testing. Our 8th graders will be doing that. So we will be doing that February 11th with just our 8th graders. Again, they do all the choosing on that. So they choose the students, they choose if they're gonna do reading or math. All we do is provide the location, and then they'll let us know whether they are providing devices or if we need to use ours. So it's kind of a waiting game to find out from them the details. So we just know that we were chosen. Mr. Langseth let you know that we have gotten it down to 2 curricular choices for elementary. October 28th, we have scheduled for one of them to come in for sure. I'm waiting to hear back on the other one. I would love to get them both here on the same day. So they will come in and do their song and dance, you know, why we're better than everybody else. And then we would like to get our teachers to go visit a couple sites that are using those curriculum, and then they will do some piloting in the classroom where they actually get their hands on it and start using it for at least a couple months before they make their final decision. REDACT updates. Fastbridge training took place during workshop week, which that is the screening method that we need to use for our students for grades 4 through 12. We will have to follow that up with CAPTI Basics, which is new. That will be coming. We don't have to actually implement that until spring, but that is what we will be using to screen for characteristics of dyslexia in grades 4 through 12. So any student that does show that they are not reading at grade level based on Fastbridge will then have to do CAPTI Basics with. Our professional development, as the other 2 mentioned, our teachers had a very full week, workshop week. And the end was with William Gruby. He did an excellent job, and I've already had teachers reaching out saying, Rachel, I am already using this. I did my morning meeting slides, and what would normally take me 2 hours, I did in 20 minutes. Or I have new curriculum this year, or I have a new class this year, something that would have taken me 20 hours, I did in 2. So it's really exciting to hear that feedback on somebody that we brought in.
Is there specific, like a specific platform they're using that built for teachers that's AI, or?
What he demonstrated for them are multiples. He used ChatGPT, the free version only. He used Magic School AI, which he only showed them the free version as well. You get so much with the free, and then of course it's like, hey, purchase this and you can do more. But everything he showed them is with the free. And then there is Gamma, which you can take what you've done in ChatGPT, put it in Gamma, and it will create an entire presentation for you.
Okay.
So you can say, take this lesson that I've done and now create a PowerPoint or Google presentation for me, and it creates the slides, it will put in illustrations or pictures or whatever.
Nice.
So, yeah, grateful. And then career pathways, like Mr. Halverson said, that was part of one of the rotations for the high school, and so that's backside, which I think is a separate page for you guys. Each of our teachers is creating one of these, and those will end up getting displayed by their classrooms. It goes along with teaching about your path, so how did you get to where you're at, so that our kids, when we're talking about not just planning to graduate, but graduating with a plan, don't think that they have to know what they're gonna do for the rest of their life, but they just know what their next step is. So that they can see that, hey, when I left high school, I wasn't necessarily immediately a teacher, but there were things that I did in between. And it also goes along with our branding. So, that's where we're at.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thanks, Rachel. Okay. We have one from Camille, we have one from Jill, Kevin,
And Kyle, activities update, he's at a conference today.
and Kyle, Jolene. So if you have any questions after reading your reports, and you wanna reach out to them individually.
Jim Lure was also going to present a report, but then he got called away, so we'll have him send you something up on the facilities and health and safety.
Okay. Superintendent report.
Kind of like everybody says, it's been a busy first few days. Just things have been getting kids reacclimated to school, new staff, bringing them on. Very excited about all the new staff that we have brought on. I think they're adding a lot to what we offer here at PRB. This week is going to be a very busy week. Not only because it's our first Monday, which is always different than the rest of the days of the week, but on Wednesday, as we continue our negotiation process with Local 284, that is also the day that Cass County is having their mass casualty training that they had asked us to be part of. And one of the things that sometimes I get asked is, why are we participating in that? We are a Red Cross rescue site for Cass County. For any sheltering or needs through the Red Cross, and this year their mass casualty was a school bus was one of the scenarios that they were running through. The timing, we wanted to get some information out to parents and staff right away, because the timing could be a little bit better just with the recent things down in Annunciation, down in Minneapolis. They're a little concerned that seeing a bunch of rescue squads and people and sirens could be stressful, so we wanted to give everybody ample time to talk through that this is a practice, just like we have weather drills, fire drills, lockdown drills. This is going to be just like that, except for Cass County and the emergency people. So very little will be coming in here. They are using the elementary gym as a reunification site to kind of practice that with casualties with it. Our juniors and seniors have been invited to kind of go and watch if they're interested in kind of emergency type field, to kind of see what it is. And so there's a lot of career pathways and learning and excitement with that, but we are really watching to see if there's any sensitive stuff that we need to be careful of. It would have been nice if it was not so close to the tragedy down in Minneapolis, but that was scheduled through Cass County. We will make it work with that. But otherwise, it's been off to a great start. And I'll turn it over to you from there. So, enrollment, I guess, is the next one. As you can see, right now we are looking down just a little bit, but we do not have all our ALP students put in here yet, or units. So far as per pupil units, we're down just a little bit, so we're still sitting pretty good.
Can we get a comparison from this year to last year?
It should be on
Oh,
there.
I'm looking at the wrong one, sorry.
Yep, if you're looking at this one, we'll have 2024, 25, and then the start of the 25-26 school year.
Well, that's- I'll find it. All right. There it is. All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions for John? Thank you. Thank you, John. Moving on to the consent calendar. Need a motion and a second.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Carrie, second by Leslie. Any discussion?
Any policies that you would like brought up or checked? Or these are ones that have just statutory definition, date changes to them, so under policy 208, you can approve those.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, those opposed, motion carries. Moving on to action items. 7.1, change the September 22nd, 2025 work session to a special meeting for the purpose of certifying the preliminary levy and approve the fiscal year 25 audit report.
So moved.
Motion by Roger,
I'll second it.
second by Dave. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. All right, Becca.
Okay, so I don't really wanna end your meeting on a downer, I'm sorry, but this is something that has bothered me for several years. And, I've kinda talked it to the PTO about it maybe a couple times, but, I think this might be the better group to come to. And it's how to make an announcement once a student or faculty member has passed away. And, just as a parent and my personal experiences, it just feels like we've been losing a lot of students in these last few years and very suddenly. And as a parent, I want to know, so I can be prepared for when my kids come to me and tell me what happened at school. And I just have not gotten that from the school. And so there's a couple things that I'd like to see. I'd just like to see the school have just a very vague letter that can be sent out to parents and guardians that just simply states that we lost a student at our school. There are resources that are available for your student. If there's more information that needs to come out, it'll come out. But I just want a very simple letter that can be sent out with push of a button that you have ready to go, that can be sent out to parents to let them know, either text, email, however. Because I feel that in the past, announcements have been made to very specific groups, and those specific groups don't always overlap with the right way that it should be. I think this really bothered me when Arwen Goebel died. She was a 4th grader. I volunteer in Holly Rawls' 4th grade class. I have for a long time. And Arwen was not in Holly's class. She was in a different class. And she had died on a Thursday night. On that Tuesday, I put ice skates on her because they went ice skating on Wednesday. And on Friday, my daughter came home from school, and I was standing over the kitchen sink, and she came over and she patted me on the back and she said, "Hey Mom, you know Arwen Goebel?" And I said, "Yeah, I know Arwen, what's up?" "I'm sorry to tell you she passed away." And I'm like standing in shock over my sink because Arwen was a happy, healthy little girl when I saw her on Tuesday. And part of me in my process was, why is my daughter Elsie was 12, 6th grade at the time. I'm like, why is my 6th grader giving me this information? I volunteer with fourth grade, like how come I didn't know? And I texted Holly right away, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. She's like, did you not get an email? Did anyone get an email? And apparently an email went out to fourth grade families, but that was all that we could think of, because we kind of chatted amongst ourselves as parents and could only figure out that that's who that went to. When Kayla passed away last year, my mom sent me a text. She was getting her nails done, and the lady next to her had someone who worked here and had found out, and she texted me, said, hey, I just found out that a senior who was going to take her driver's test passed away in a car accident. And I immediately knew it was Kayla. My daughter was a very, very close friend with Kayla. And I was like, no, I would have heard something. My girls would have been like, this has happened. And so I think all that the kids had known at that time was that there was a car accident. And about 10 minutes later, my daughter calls me crying on the phone because one of her best friends had passed away. And I only had the heads up from randomly 9/11. So I understand that teachers, it's a big weight to carry to tell students that one of their fellow students has passed away. And some teachers just don't like to give out that information. And so they don't. But word travels really fast. And I understand that you might not be able to be the first ones to let people know about it, but as a parent, I'd like to have a little bit of a heads up. I stopped in to Autumn Logie's room and asked her what she felt about just putting together a page for the school's website on grief, something that could be attached to an email or a text message that says, hey, we have these resources already ready. You can go to this page on our website, and there are links. Here's the number for our grief counselors. If your student needs to talk, here are signs to look for the ways kids handle grief. Here's how to talk to your kids about it. I mean, just having that resource page set up, ready to go, attached to a letter, just something very simple that can be sent out. And CC, that's kind of maybe why I'm here the most. I was with Holly Rowell when she got the announcement about Cecilia, and that one, Cece's death hits a little differently, being a special needs kid. I think our school does a pretty good job of having our special needs kids out and involved with other students. I think that's great, but I don't think there's been any public announcement that she's passed away. And I get that this stuff is personal and private, but just, I don't think a lot of people know that. And I think that we really need to create a heart in our students for those special needs kids, so that someday they will advocate for those kids in the future. And I think we could maybe do a little bit more to memorialize kids. I know at the PTO we've talked about that, and it's hard to know like who and how, and you know, it's sometimes the families might not want it, but it kind of also be nice to, and cathartic maybe for kids to have somewhere where they can go. I know we have the garden out front, but I'm not sure, you know, who puts stuff in the garden, that kind of thing, but I just, yeah. It's kind of bothered me with the last few kids that have passed away, so I just thought I'd bring that to you tonight.
Appreciate that.
Thank
you.
Thank you, we'll take a look at it.
Okay.
Thanks, Becca. Thanks.
Thank you for your time.
At this time, we're going to close the meeting per state statute 13D.03 subdivision 3 in order to consider strategies for labor negotiations with service employees and International Union Local 284. I need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Roger,
I'll second.
second by Nikki. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries 608.